This is National Native News. I'm Brian Bull, sitting in for Antonia Gonzalez. The U.S. Congress is considering a rescission request from the Trump administration to pull funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. As SDPB's Lee Strubinger reports, the maneuver would negatively affect many tribal radio stations, including 4 in South Dakota.
You're listening to KOYA 88.1 FM Rosebud, St. Francis.
The station KOYA stands to lose about $200,000 if Congress ultimately approves the rescission. John Miller is the manager for the station in Rosebud. He says the funding reduction would be very detrimental.
For the folks of the Rosebud, we serve a purpose of keeping them up to date, passing along, emergency information, passing along pertinent information that helps them in every way and every day. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting funding that we do receive is very, very beneficial in keeping the station on the air. It wouldn't be a good outcome for us.
KILI of Porcupine, KDKO of Lake Andes, and KLND of McLaughlin all stand to lose around $200,000 in CPB grants. South Dakota's lone representative in the U.S. House, Republican Dusty Johnson, voted in favor of rescinding the money. South Dakota Republican U.S. Senator Mike Rounds says he does not want to see funding cut for radio stations in rural areas that rely on public broadcasting, particularly on reservations.
Let's not cut the stuff where we really do need to be able to help folks that are in some rural areas that simply, and on the reservations where they simply don't have other resources available to keep those radios in operation.
Rounds says his rescission decision will be based on whether the package can be amended to allow for funding to continue to reach rural radio stations. The rescission question now heads to the U.S. Senate. For National Native News, I'm Lee Strubinger in Rapid City.
Grassroots organizers gathered Thursday in Montana's largest city for a conference focused on combating the missing and murdered Indigenous people crisis. Jackie Coffin reports from Billings.
Montana is home to 12 tribal nations and about 7% of the state's population is Native American. But looking at Montana's current missing persons database, Native Americans are disproportionately represented, making up about 25% of all cases. Lita Pepion, co-founder of the Billings-based nonprofit Warrior Women for Justice, says she's tired of waiting for state and federal resources to make a dent in the problem.
We hear people all the time say, well, what's the council doing? What's the cops doing? What's everybody doing? What are we doing? Because it's not just their problem. It's our problem as well.
Pepion helped organize the 2-day MMIP conference to share stories and strategies for searching for missing loved ones, advocating for their cases, and how to heal from the grief that comes with losing family members.
We've been under a state of trauma for so long.
Charlene Sleeper runs MMIP Billings, a grassroots advocacy program that develops research methods, trainings, and communication strategies for missing persons cases in Montana. A presenter at the conference, she feels the state-led effort in combating MMIP has stagnated.
If we as Indigenous women take the initiative to create our own solutions in a way that benefits our specific communities that we come from, they'll be far more effective and impactful.
Pepion says Warrior Women for Justice will hold future events centered around MMIP throughout the summer and fall. In Billings, I'm Jackie Coffin.
And I'm Brian Bull for National Native News from the KLCC studios in Eugene, Oregon.
National Native News is produced by Kawanak Broadcast Corporation with funding by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Support by Sonosky Chambers Law, championing tribal sovereignty and Native American rights since 1976. From opioids litigation to treaty rights to tribal self-governance. With offices in Washington, D.C., New Mexico, California, and Alaska. Sonosky Chambers Law.
Support by Arctic Encounter 2025, July 30th to August 1st in Anchorage, Alaska, to shape policy, investment, and innovation in the far north. Registration at arcticencounter.com, who support this show.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.